Hi guys, Fifa here and want this 91 rated Prime Icon Ballack player review. With the release of the new SBC, I looked at some of the Prime Icons that people were getting, and this Ballack card has always been someone that I wanted to use, but just never got around to playing with. Anyway, this is the team I started him in, with Alisson in goal. Wan-Bissaka, Ogbonna, Maldini and Carvalho in defence, Sané, Ballack, Kimmich, Lineker and Adama Traore in midfield, with Giovinco in attack. He's 6'2" with medium attacking and high defensive work rates, he's right footed and has 4-star skill moves with a 4-star weak foot. Moving on to his in-game stats, he's got 87 finishing, 94 shot power, 92 long shots and penalties, 94 short passing and 93 long passing, 91 ball control, 88 stamina and finally 85 strength and aggression. I decided to use the engine chemistry style on him to boost his pace and dribbling stats, which in my opinion are the most important stats to boost on this card. His passing boost is just a bonus. Moving on to the traits page, he only has two, being power free kick and power header. So to begin, I'll start with his shooting, which is his highest overall stat on the card, and he was great in game. He not only has great long shots, which considering his position are important, but he also has great finishing for a midfielder if you do find him making runs into the box. Whenever I took a decent shot with him, he always managed to trouble the keeper, and he did well to keep him on target. His shot power is a massive factor in why his shots are so great, because it makes the strike harder to stop for the goalkeeper. Inside the box, his finishing and shot power combination means he can just slot the ball past the goalkeeper before he has time to react. Outside the box, shot power is vital to being able to score, as the speed you generate on the ball takes away from how much time the keeper has to move across his line and start the dive animation. Next is his passing, which in my opinion is the best thing about the card. His actual passing stats are in the mid-90s, which you can tell when playing in game. They are always perfectly weighted to hit your player in stride, both from short passing and long passing, which is important to keep the momentum in your building attacks and prevent your player from taking a bad touch from an awkward pass. The technique he uses to actually pass the ball is only something I've seen in a handful of top level passes in this game, like De Bruyne, especially when it came to long passes. He uses different parts of his feet depending on where the player is to bend the ball around the defenders and into open space for your attacker to run onto. So to be honest, I didn't notice his low curve stat, especially when it came to passing. Defending wise, Ballack seemed more than good enough even at this point in the year, where midfielders can easily have 90 plus shooting and defending on their cards. His work rate is also tied to this, as he does have medium attacking and high defensive, which prevents a computer from running him up and down the field all game long. Most people will look at this card as a box-to-box midfielder, although I feel I got the best out of this card when using him in a 2 CDM formation with one more defensive-minded player. He was capable of making some decent interceptions, and he was great at stand tackling and winning the ball. His overall physicality was great, and he had a real presence on the pitch. 85 strength and aggression are decent stats, but not amazing, especially at this point in the game. However, unlike other players, he actually lived up to these stats, which I feel his body type and overall frame are massive contributing factors. Being 6'2" and having the average body type, Ballack manages to hold off the majority of players in the midfield and defence, which is useful when you're waiting for a passing option to open up. He also wins a lot of headers because of his height and 87 jumping. When combined with his 86 heading accuracy, he's capable of scoring headers and he manages to accurately pass the ball using his head. 4-star skill moves is beneficial to have on most players, and it's good to see that Ballack has the ability to perform some of the more advanced skill moves in the game. Most of the time, he did stick to using his strong foot, rather than choosing to pass or shoot in his left foot. However, he will sometimes use his weaker foot if it's a better option, so having 4-star means he doesn't lose too much power or accuracy, and I didn't notice it negatively impacting the card at all. Ballack has very high set piece stats, which allows him to be the main penalty taker and free kick taker in your team. The only time you'd miss a penalty using this card would be down to user error. Although on his free kicks, you might see his lower curve stat, sometimes affecting the shot's dip and accuracy. He also has 88 stamina, which is good for a player in any position, especially as a box-to-box centre mid. Although there is room for improvement with this stat, it should allow you to use him all game long, without needing to sub him off, and as far as icons go, he's probably one of the highest stamina players. His pace in general was decent, although there's a lot of faster midfielders now, depending on what position you play him in, it isn't that much of a problem. As a CDM, having low 80s pace is still usable. Again, although the engine chemistry style does boost this a little, it's a stat I would recommend increasing. The only time you might notice it being an issue is in a wide centre mid position, where you're trying to beat wingers or wide defensive players that generally have a lot more pace than this card. Now onto the main negatives, with the first one being his agility and balance combination. Although his ball control is great and his dribbling stat is decent, his agility and balance make it difficult to turn both on and off the ball. His height and build don't help with this, and he can sometimes feel very heavy when trying to move him. The final negative was his crossing ability. As a CDM you won't really face any issues with this, but when I used him in a centre mid position in the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, sometimes I did find him out in a wider attacking position where I needed to cross the ball. The accuracy of the cross isn't really the problem, and he can find your attacking player. The issue is that he doesn't make any attempt to avoid defensive players, and as a result most of the time it will hit the defender if he's goal side. So overall, I'm going to give this 91 Prime Icon Ballack an 8.8 out of 10. I actually really enjoyed using this card, and it reminded me a lot of using Legend Effenberg from the days of FIFA 14 and 15. With a chemistry style boost, he is fast enough for a midfielder, he has a great long shot with decent finishing, and his passing is up there with the best in the game. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. If you're requesting any future content, then please leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to reply.